The title of this podcast is Are You a Collector of All the Bad Things That Have Happened, or a Joyful, Peaceful Being? You can't be both. What inspired this was a recent engagement that I started with a group of colleagues in the medical field. And some of the people that have gone to school for a long time and they have dedicated themselves to becoming experts in their field. These doctors have been expressing how they don't feel valued and respected in the workplace by non-physicians. And I've seen some examples of that, but I don't think it's anything that is hard to correct or resolve. It's a conversation and then gently, you know, requesting that people give everyone the respect that they have earned. And that's everyone. And then eventually, when you do that, there becomes no distinction between who's a physician, who's a nurse, or who is someone that is administration or whatever your job title is. It's not even necessary because everyone is being afforded this same level of respect for each other, respect for each other's humanness. But in this particular situation, what I've noticed about the people that are uh, expressing disappointment and frustration that they're not being respected based on their title is that that's not the only complaint that they have. They have a lot of other complaints. And basically, what's happening that I'm noticing is, and I don't think they're conscious of it, they think they're just stating facts, just like Keith 1.0 used to do. I was just stating the obvious. Like, don't you see it too? Like I'm not a negative person. These are just things that are problems. Like they shouldn't be this way. Well, if you look at it in a deeper way, if that's the majority of what you're doing, is that if that is the bulk of your communication, then you are a collector of all the bad things that you think have happened to you. And that's certainly one way to live. But that way of living is full of suffering. And there's another way. And I think if you dedicate yourself to a sincere and consistent gratitude practice, what you'll find is life is happening all the time. Some of it is pleasant, some of it may not be as pleasant, but life is unfolding. And so if you really work on yourself, you become a person that doesn't get too high when life is pleasant, and you don't get too low when life can be challenging. And you just stay really have this equanimity, this balance to where you're peaceful regardless of what happens. Everything turns you on, nothing turns you off. That's one way to certainly live. That's not to say that you don't address the things that could be improved upon. Like my plan is to, thoughtfully, respectfully address, physicians being treated like they're physicians. But I don't have to complain about it to start to work on that. I can be thoughtful, considerate, uh, in my approach to doing this. And this is what I'm encouraging them to do too. So if you take this example and you apply it to your life, what's there for you? What is showing up? How are you showing up? Are you a joyful and peaceful being, or are you a collector of the bad things that have happened? And I know that Keith 1.0 was a collector of the bad things that happened. And I would replay them over and over by telling other people about what happened or me ruminating and thinking about them all the time. And before you know it, my number one way of communicating was to complain or to express a grievance. That's one way to live. The way that Michael Singer talks about it is that you go to a restaurant, you get food poisoning, and the food smells awful. And before you leave, you ask the server for a doggy bag. And you do this throughout your life for all the experiences you have. When you have a bad meal, you ask for a doggy bag, you store it into a room, and every day you go back into the room to have a little taste of it so that you never forget how it tasted. That's what you're doing when you're a collector of the bad things that you think have happened to you. So there's a different way again of living. And that way is, it's nothing bad is happening to you. Life is just unfolding. And it offers a lot of opportunities. There's opportunities to be joyful in every moment. And some of those opportunities include a invitation to work on yourself. And if you work on yourself, then those challenges benefit you because you grow. If you don't work on yourself, you keep collecting more junk. And it's not out there, it's in here. No one else is doing that to you. You're doing it to yourself. Choose a different way of living. Choose to be a joyful, peaceful being.